Hi everyone, I'm Vin Ebenu here at the Monmouth County Correctional Institute in Freehold, New Jersey with Monmouth County Sheriff Shaun to discuss the rehab processes inside the jail as well as the day-to-day life for the guards, for the inmates, and the topic of bail reform. And we'll get to that too, because I know we've discussed that in the past, but in day-to-day life here at the Monmouth County Jail, you're seeing people come in and out. People aren't here for more than a year. What is that like to see these, especially for the repeat offenders, to see people just keep coming back in here again?
Vin, welcome to the Monmouth County Correctional Facility. First, because you have a rare opportunity that we don't allow a lot of media in, and for obvious reasons, we have a lot of security concerns that surround a large complex and facility like this. And we are in an empty pod right now, so we're not commingled with our general population. But we pride ourselves at the Monmouth County Sheriff's Office. And first, let me say, we're a nationally accredited agency here at the Sheriff's Office. One of the only ones in the state of New Jersey that are nationally accredited in healthcare for our correctional inmates and our correctional process here, our operation. And so we hold those with great pride. The state comes in and inspects our facility every year. We pass, with 100%, over 500 points of inspection. And, as you can see, it is a well-maintained facility. But well-maintained and well-run are two different things. And we're well-run because of the professional staff we have at the Sheriff's Office. Our correctional staff, by far, is dedicated to some of the things that you just brought up. Rehabilitation. Rehabilitation and opportunity is really what we preach at a correctional institution. It's not a prison. Prison's long-term, and those jails are long-term, but this is a correctional institution, and that's why we always correct people when we say the name Monmouth County Correctional Institution, because we try to change people's behavior, our inmates, so that when you meet inmates like Joe who have gone through a process here, they come out on the other end when they're released better and better prepared to interact with our community out there, and that's our goal, not to see them again in our facility. And so we, it's really amazing to see. I mean, as you saw probably walking in here, the inmates, it's a free-flowing facility in the sense that the inmates are walking around the facility, sometimes unguarded, from point A to point B. Things like our instead of a linear supervision, our direct supervision facility, where we only have one officer on post here with another officer backed up behind the glass, and how they interact with the inmates. So all of those relationships are important. They build those relationships over time. Our professional officers here are very good at it. They are very good at identifying those that may be a bigger problem for us or maybe need more attention. And we do a pretty good job at segregating and classifying those individuals, so we put them in different parts of the facility here.
That was going to be my follow-up question there as to how you place certain people
all classification when
cells.
they come in, they go through a series of screening, not only a law enforcement screening about their background, if they have any additional warrants or wants at different places, and certainly their criminal history and have they been locked up or incarcerated before. But do they have any substance abuse issues? Do they have any medical issues? Do they have any psychological issues? All of those meet different classifications within the facility. And then what are they here for? Are they in here for murder or waiting trial? Or are they in here for an unpaid, traffic summons that bought them a warrant and, they have to serve some time and pay a fine? It's wide-ranging here. And so we have both flavors and everything in between. And that's why classification is so important, because we want to be sure that we are putting our inmates in the best position that we can for our officers' safety, but also for their own safety and security, and make sure that they get the proper treatment while they're in here.
While they're in different parts of the prison, different cells, the Corrections Institute,
see that it's working.
Yeah. That's why you corrected me. Are they ever allowed to do certain activities together? Do you keep certain inmates together if they're in, like,
Well, you
Illinois
can
on
see
drug
that for the
offenses,
most
or-
part, when you look at our pod set up just like this, recreation is right there. Meals can be done in here. They're brought in. Visits, pretty soon we'll be doing video visitation and some other things. Entertainment, certainly game boards and the like. Everything is we try to contain within the pods, right? There is some movement here. They will maybe interact in the gym. You saw some classrooms when they're in substance abuse counseling, when they're in classroom setting, learning for GED, our GED program, our educational program for high school equivalency diploma. All of those, there could be some commingling, but for the most part, they reside in pods like this throughout their stay here.
Are there certain restrictions for whoever's in here on whatever offense, drug offenses,
Well,
murder, or something?
yeah, certainly. Again, that comes back to the classification and identification process. Some need to be under constant watch. Some need to be under medical watch. And so we end up bringing those inmates to different locations within this large facility. So those constant watch or medical watch or, other things are addressed. And that's the way we kind of segregate the population.
Do you have to keep an eye on certain prisoners over another who may be more at risk of getting into a fight inside the jail,
Yeah.
or trying
Yep.
to break out, or
Sure.
trying to cause a problem with the guards?
Yeah, that always occurs. I mean, listen, it comes down to the training that our staff here have we have I will say it over and over again, we pride ourselves on having the best correctional officers in the state of New Jersey. We train in a lot of those things. We have the best gang intel force in the state of New Jersey that works with a lot of the prosecutors in other counties around the state. Those are important. Those identifications are important. Just because you're in a correctional institution that generally houses short-term inmates doesn't mean there's not gang activity either, right? Gangs are prevalent in any institution that you go to, and they're certainly here. It's how you interact with the gangs, how the officers identify with them. Again, their training and their tactics, making sure that those type of incidents don't bubble up to something that's of conflict.
If somebody's in here on gang-related offenses or something similar, do you have to keep an extra pair of eyes on any visitors that come in to talk to them, or anybody who speaks to them?
Yeah, we do. Visitation is always closely monitored here on visitation. We monitor all that. We monitor the visitors they have. We can, by law, look at some of those conversations they have, as long as they're not attorney-client privilege. So certainly all that comes into play, and then part of that gang intelligence that I talked about. Listen, the fact is that correctional institution and jails, they're dangerous places. We have some, again, a wide range. Some are nonviolent, low-impact offenders. Some are very violent, high-impact offenders, right? So that training has to take shape in the sense that our officers have to be able to deal with all of those scenarios and situations, and they train for that, and they do a really good job. We have a really good record here of our inmate, non-inmate conflicts, fights. Again, it comes down to staff and what they do. Now, don't let me misguide that in any way. It's a dangerous place. We've had officers that have been attacked here, right? Officers attacked in other jails and prisons. It's how we respond to that. And rest assured, we continue to charge anything that's done in this facility. You could damage this table right here, and we will charge you and extend your sentence for criminal mischief, right? So we made that a strict policy here at the correctional institution, that charges will be brought against you. Even though you're sitting here in jail awaiting something else, we'll bring them down upon you.
Has there been any recent incidents, whether it's inmates on inmates or
Well,
inmates trying to attack the
there's
guards?
incidents all the time. Some are of minor in nature, and again, sometimes we have a guard attack. Those things happen in any facility, right? And certainly we can get you some statistics if you want. Take a look at that. But they happen in any facility.
What are some of the disciplinary measures that will be taken, maybe on a case-to-case basis? I know you mentioned criminal mischief. Is it?
Yeah, you heard me. You
somebody
heard me
in
say.
solitary? Do
Yeah.
they go to their cell without dinner?
Yeah, so, listen, some things we can do and some things we can't per policy. I mean,
Right.
people have to be fed and clothed and medical. I mean, it's not what you would envision on, some of the TV shows that you watch. I mean, It is a correctional institution. I mean, listen, you can do a number of things. You can transfer out to another unit. We can transfer you out of the facility. We can charge you in some way. You can lose privileges, yard privileges, and gym time, and all those other kind of things. So there are some things that are done per the policy that are punitive in nature for the inmate if they act up.
Have there ever been any incidents here where the situation has gotten out of control or so bad where you've needed to send them to another correction institute, another prison, or the state prison?
Well, sometimes it also depends what they're in here for, man. We've had cases, that have been high-profile cases, and maybe we don't want them in this facility because we want to hold them in another facility away from, the specter of media here, or some type of other thing that's going on over at the courthouse, or some type of gang case where we want to segregate the parties. So certainly we work with our partners in Ocean County and other county jails around the state of New Jersey to make those transfers and do that segregation for us if it's need be, and that's happened. Certainly that's one of the options that are open to our staff here if we need to use it.
It sounds like similar that happened in the Dr. Jim Kaufman case down in Atlantic County. He was sent upstate to another county correctional facility. What are some of the other parts of the rehab process or the rehab programs that are maybe offered to people who are inmates here on striving to become a better person, striving that whenever that release date is of theirs, that they'll come out and not just have a new sense of life and freedom, that they won't just go back and do whatever got them in here in the first place, or go back to a drug habit, for instance, and trying to finance that or dealing.
For us, education has been somewhat the key. I mean, we'll talk about substance abuse and psychological counseling and all that, but education for us has been a key component in the sense that we're committed to affording education. In other words, if you walk past our library here with all our computer technology, certainly they have research material they can use, educational material they can use. The library, I think, is second to none when it comes to county jails and what's afforded to them in our library. And then our high school equivalency diploma program, which again is unique in the sense that I don't believe there's another county facility that offers a GED program in the state of New Jersey. I got to check that, but we certainly do it well. We have a great partner in Monmouth Ocean Educational Services Commission, and they come in with their staff and they continue to educate our inmate population. We try to get them to graduate here, set some goals for them, like Joe, so we get his GED before he leaves here, so that when he goes out, he has the GED with him and can certainly continue on his educational efforts. And those are some of the resources. Other than that, we have substance abuse counselors right here on staff, on site, several of them, so that we can meet the demands of any type of request and treatment. And then, certainly things like psychological and medical services come into play. Our medical services, and if you saw our medical services wing, we take really good care medically of our inmates. We want to be healthy. We don't need any outbreaks of even the flu going around here can cause some problems, and so we are very careful about how sanitary the place is, as you can see, and certainly how good our medical staff is.